Satisfactory is one of my favorite factory games, and one of the reasons I love it so much has nothing to do with automation or spaghetti builds, and everything to do with hypertubes. They are my true love in Satisfactory. I love building them and riding in them, but most of all, I love making hypertube stations. I've just finished a new design and I wanted to share it with you, so let's build ourselves a hypertube station. Hi, it's Drax. This is the part at the beginning of the video that everyone skips. For those of you that didn't jump forward, enjoy watching and listening. Might you consider supporting me further by visiting my Ko-fi or clicking on the join button on this video? Alright, that's it. Back to the video. Remember, this is not the definitive guide for building a hypertube hub or station. This is my way of building one, so be kind. The first thing to consider when building a hypertube station is location. I like to pick a location that's central to my main factory, preferably close to the hub, MAM, and central storage. The location's important for two reasons: ease of access and also expandability. When finding that perfect spot, I want to make sure that there's enough room to build a good-sized hub and leave room for future expansion. We've settled on the perfect location, now let's gather some materials and start building. I'm going to admit something to you. I'm not the kind of builder who plans right down to the foundations needed. When gathering the initial materials, I ask myself how many connections I'll be building. For this build, I'm going to build a 4-port hub. So I'll need some foundations, walls, power poles and connectors, hypertubes, wall and floor connectors. I usually start a to-do list to make sure I have all the materials I'll need. I also like to have some signs on hand to mark locations, but they're not necessary. My goal when building the hypertube station is ease of use and access. The design and layout will be based around those two goals, but I also want it to look cool. I'm going to start by laying out the main floor. We're going to have 4 ports, so I've laid some extra foundations so we have room to work. I'm using quarter pipe foundations as the back. Next, I'll place the wall in front, and then place the hypertube wall support and entrance on each. Once complete, I'll remove the wall, leaving the cool, hovering hypertube entrance. For now, I'll run some temp power for testing. We'll replace that later. With the front end complete, let's work on building out the back end of the station. The purpose of the back end of the building is to hide the exit tubes and electrical connections. The first step is attaching the hypertube entrances through the foundation to another hypertube port on the top or bottom. This is going to be a bit clippy, so close your eyes if that bothers you. Next, we'll connect the foundation port to the outer wall port. There are a couple of different ways to do this depending on how you want to connect. I build the back end of the hypertube station with outside connections on the top, middle, or bottom. The space between the foundation connection and the wall allows you to change the destination or height of the tube at a later time. Now that the back end is complete, I will connect a couple of my existing tubes and test to make sure everything I connected on the back end is correct and I'm not stepping into a tube to nowhere. The front end and back end are connected. Let's put the finishing touches on the hub. I'll add additional foundations, walls, and access to the building. I'll also clean up some of the temp power by adding power connectors and doing my best to keep the wires out of view. Look at that. Beautiful. This step is optional, but I think it's a must. Whether you're playing single or multiplayer, Adding signs to your hypertubes is just good practice. As the station grows, it can be hard to remember which tube goes where. Trust me. If I've built the entrance right, the new station should be easy to use. Simply walk into the tube and you'll be zooming to your location. The return should be smooth, the tube will push you out and clear of the entrance. You're ready for your next journey. There's an alternative version of hypertube entrances that I've been using on my newer builds. You can build a hypertube booster on the front of the entrance to make your trip faster. I have a blueprint of this design to make the process of placing these faster, but it's fairly easy to construct and add on to an existing entrance. As you can see here, it adds significant speed to your trip. The return drops you in front of the port, blocking re-entry. I have long been a holdout on the booster hypertube, but it's a really nice speed addition to hypertube travel. I think I'm a believer. Hypertube stations are one of my favorite things to build in Satisfactory, and I rush to unlock hypertubes as soon as I can. As I build the station, I'm always thinking, how can I make it better? How can I make it bigger? Do you build hypertube stations or hubs when you play Satisfactory? If so, I'd love to see your builds. You're welcome to join my Discord and post your pics there. I also welcome tips and suggestions to make better hypertube stations. You can leave those in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. The video's over. Now it's time for you to do your part. Follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.